Want some real dark psychology? Let's get into the last 5 years of this big C and the hoax that was. And that's all it was, ladies and gentlemen, is a hoax. If you haven't figured it out by now, you might want to get online and start researching it. I see the vaccinated right now all over Facebook and different areas that are all complaining about how life is so tough after the last 5 years. They got long COVID. No, you don't have long COVID. You got vaccine-induced AIDS. Okay? People understand. SARS, that went on 10 years ago, that was a test. That was a trial, just to see how people would act. I watched as people were so convinced that the shots were so good for them. I watched people line up for a fucking free donut to get a complete stranger to shove an unknown substance into your arm. And don't sit there and tell me you knew exactly what was in those freaking shots, because you didn't. Let me tell you about what it was like to spend the last 5 years unvaccinated, because we were treated like lepers. Our fearless leader was up on Twitter going, why are we putting up with the unvaccinated society? What are we going to do with them? People were talking about gold stars again. They're going back to Nazi Germany. There were people standing on street corners in this country with signs saying gas the unvaccinated. I have family that turned away. I have friends that walked away. I have nobody left in my life. I lost jobs because of this garbage. But yet the vaccinated are going, oh, life is so tough. You have no idea what tough is. How many people lost their jobs? How many people lost their houses because they didn't want to take part in a bloody experiment, and they were told it was an experiment? I feel bad for certain people. Like I say, the ones that were fucking felt forced to take it or lose their jobs and homes they didn't want to, and the children. How many children have died as a result of the vaccines? Children are dropping dead of heart attacks, strokes, cancer. But yet parents got their head planted firmly in the frickin' dirt. Oh no, it wasn't the vaccines, it wasn't me. You know what? A lot of you are it has to go through your mind at some point that you killed your frickin' kid. You dragged your child in and you got them forcefully shot up with a poison, with a biological weapon. That's what you did. That's the reality of it. But yet I'm supposed to feel sympathy for the vaccinated? No, I'm not. I can't anymore. Not after the last 5 years of pure freaking stupidity. And that's all it was, is pure stupidity. If you don't believe that this big C was a freaking hoax, get on your own local freaking sites and look up the flu stats for 2020 and 2021 and 2022. Flu up and disappeared like a fart in the wind. They replaced it with COVID. But yet you're going to sit there going, oh, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist. How many people around the world have died? I can show you videos of thousands of people dropping dead, just like that, on camera. How many children need to die before people wake up? How many more kids need to die? Children right now are dropping dead of heart attacks and strokes, and the media is going, oh, this is all normal. No, it's not freaking normal for a child to die of a heart attack or a stroke, or cancer or anything else like that. There's a lot of sick people out there right now, and they're all thinking, no, we got long COVID. No, you don't. You were shot up with a biological weapon. That's what happened. And Mark Twain, in Mark Twain's own words, it's so much easier to fool people than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you've been fooled. Deal with it. Accept it. Move on. It's time to start figuring out what to do. That's the reality. I know there's a lot of people out there right now that got multiple shots, and they're scared, and you should be. If you got multiple shots of that stuff, you should be terrified at the moment, because they can come at any time. Your heart's giving out. It doesn't take much. You could drop dead at any point. There's people right now getting diagnosed with stage 4, stage 5 cancer. And it's only when they hit stage 4 or stage 5 that they start getting symptoms of cancer and start getting sick. These are aggressive. And it's all because they put SV40 into the COVID vaccines again, just like they did with polio. The cancer rates exploded for the 60s and 70s. Why? It was being injected into you. But yet, oh, COVID, vaccines saved so many lives. No, it didn't. Scarlet fever, there was never a vaccine for scarlet fever, but yet scarlet fever went away on its own. Why? Because of herd immunity, real herd immunity. People caught scarlet fever. Yeah, some people died. Most of my generation caught chickenpox and measles and everything else. They were infections back then. Minor infections for the average part. We didn't have vaccines for them. But we're all immune. But now they're all called diseases. Funny how 30, 40, 50 years ago, things were infections, now they're disease. Why are they naming things diseases? Because disease is much more scary, isn't it? Oh, measles is now a disease. And guess what? There's another big disease going around right now in the UK and the United States. It's starting to pop up, and it's going worldwide. And that's a new disease they're calling Marburg. Marburg virus. a Marburg parasite, whatever you want to call it. Marburg has an 80% kill rate. People are going to the hospitals right now, their organs are turning into freaking fluid and they're bleeding out through orifices. This is going on. And that was preloaded into your shots. Here in Canada, they did it. They put Marburg virus into the lipids of the vaccines. But yet I'm the crazy person. I'm the conspiracy theorist. People need to wake up. And I'm sorry, once again, I don't have much sympathy for a lot of the vaccinated. You did it willingly to yourself. You knowingly lined up to let a complete stranger stick something in your arm and into your body, and you had no idea what it was. And many of you forced your children to do it too. How many children need to die before people start freaking waking up to the reality of what's going on?